everybody, and welcome to GenFriends. I'm your host, Sherry Hudson-Passy from Carolina Girl Genealogy. And really quick, because we've got this special show we promised you, I'm going to quickly introduce our regular panelists and then our special guests, whom you can see. Anyways, so let's get started with Laura Hedgecock from Treasure Chest of Memories. Hello, Laura.
Hi, nice to be here.
So thrilled that you're here for this. We've got Jenny Hawran from Light Herding Cats Genealogy. Hello, Jenny.
Hello, happy to be here.
I'm glad you're here too. Melissa Barker, the archive lady, is here.
Hi, everybody. So glad to be here.
Glad you're here, Melissa. Whoop, who am I forgetting? Oh, guess what? And Bernice Bennett is just coming in. Here we go. We've got Mary Kircher Roddy from MKR Genealogy. Hello, Mary.
Hello there.
Glad you're here, our Seattle expert. we have got Dr. Shelley Viola Murphy in the house. She's our
happy to be here. Looking forward to it.
Glad you're here. And Bernice is coming in. So lovely. But Bernice Bennett is coming. And Bernice Bennett is how you find Bernice. So Bernice Bennett Genealogy. So there she is. Hello, Bernice.
Hi, I'm in the dark, but
You're in the dark, but you're here. Everybody, look who's here. We've got all the teams. We've got our team reunion that we've been promising and hoping for since the day it started. So we've been waiting to have all of you here. We have got all the teams. We've got Team Red, we've got Team Blue, we've got Team Green, we've got Team Black. We're so grateful that you're all here, that we all get a chance to see you, to talk to you. We're just grateful that you're here. I don't even know where to get started except for what a season. What a season. It was, I don't know. I cried a lot. I cried a lot on the season, and it was just remarkable. And we're grateful to have you all to talk to us and I've got a few questions that I think I'm going to just go ahead and get done and out of the way, because I did ask when we wrapped up day 10, and I told our viewers that we were going to do this show and hopefully get you all together. I said, do you have any questions? And to post them. And so I don't forget them. They don't trust me and never ask me to do it again. I am going to ask you these questions. So one of the ones that was asked was day 10, the tanks. The tank, I should say. They were wondering, did you get any tank driving instructions, or
they sat us in there for like a second just to show us where the pedals were and the steering wheel, and then they said, "Good luck."
Wow. I wanted to be in there so bad.
Listen, I have
with you.
It was the most epic thing I've ever done in my entire life, including having my children. No offense, Rosanna. Like it was. It's very cramped though.
Yeah.
And when I heard we were gonna drive tanks, I was so stoked. But then when it came time to do it, I was like, Rosanna, I don't know if I can do it. Like my anxiety, just I don't know if I can do this, Rosanna. And I kind of got scared. But then she's like, Mom, if you don't do it, you're gonna hate yourself. And I was like, I know. But it was so. I mean, you just feel power. I mean, you're in this huge metal tank that can run over any and everything, and it's like, oh my gosh, it was so cool.
Yeah, I gunned it off that starting line, and then I forgot my directions completely, and I just panicked, and I was like, I don't know how to drive this thing. It's just so much anxiety, but it was so fun.
Yeah, which is so amazing that people would put you in that and say drive without any kind of
trust, huh?
Trust and waivers
to run over a car.
Yeah, the guy sitting on it was pretty darn brave.
He was brave. He was so cool. He was cool. I mean, he was just patient and chill and calm. And without him, I don't know if I would have done it. He was just, he was really cool. He was really nice. He's a great guy.
Yeah. Well, of course, if you weren't driving, then you were, trying to grab the flags and everything. But so you had to have your trust in the person driving.
Yeah, that was a big part too. They probably for the better cut out most of the part where I was just yelling the entire time about how cool it was and how this is amazing and you got this, mama, crush the fridge.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Did they give you the outtakes?
I don't know. I have some. I have some, not a bunch, but Yeah, there was one episode where the outtake was probably way better than the actual episode was. I wish they could have.
Oh, that was so funny.
For no instruction, you guys drove it real well.
Yes.
Mhm.
I figured they sat you down and, gave you some tips or something and showed you how.
I didn't want to
Yeah.
stop driving it. The fact that it was timed really irritate me because like I was trying to go as fast as I could, but not too fast because like I knew I'd never drive a tank again in my life.
Oh, that's too funny.
No
You should
kidding.
have a reunion and go down there because isn't it open to everybody? That would be really funny. Y'all should meet down
It's
there.
kind of expensive.
It's very expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
That is
expensive.
Yeah.
Wow, I'll bet it
But-
is. I bet it is.
So once in a lifetime opportunity, you guys. It was awesome.
It was
Yeah.
really cool.
Matter of fact, I got a picture of the tank tattooed on my leg.
Oh,
You did?
You have to show
Okay,
us.
you have to show.
It's kind of high up on my thigh, but I can show you. I don't mind.
Oh.
But I told everybody else like
This is
I
an
don't-
adult
Send a
show.
picture
We're
and I'll
okay.
post it with the video.
I told everybody if I could drive this tank, I'm getting it tattooed on my thigh. And sure enough, I did with a blue. With my biological grandpa had a hula girl tattooed on his arm, so I got the hula girl sitting on it with a blue lei for Team Blue.
Oh, wow.
my
That's
goodness.
awesome.
Buddy.
That is
Yep.
awesome. That is awesome. How fun.
Love
That's
it.
really fun. Let me see what
Lots of
another
fun.
question was. Another question was because I want to have, everybody be able to talk and everybody ask questions. Another one was interesting, and it was what prompted the family members, and of course we know because they were biological. This is the question. What prompted family members to actually want to be on the show to do this? It's one thing to want to meet your family and want to do it, but to do it on television, Anybody got any stories about?
Well, I could start by telling you that my entire family wasn't on board originally. As you saw that most of the participants in my family were nieces.
Mm-hmm.
The older generation they're very private, you know. So
yeah.
it was the younger generation, their daughters, that stepped up for me. It took a little persuading, because the idea of having our life in a public format like that on a show,
Sure.
it takes some convincing and getting used to.
Sure.
So it took some convincing.
Oh,
but
sure.
They really didn't know what the show was about. They never watched it. They just had a producer call them, and it's just like they didn't want to be a part of it.
Yeah.
But
they probably thought it was a scam at first. I mean,
yeah, absolutely.
The show, they probably thought, wait a second.
Yeah. But we knew as me and my cousins have a group chat, and we just all said we need to do this for them.
Yeah.
So
that's
that's
cool.
why we have all the nieces.
That's so special. That's so special. But let me tell you all, David, you made us cry every episode.
Oh,
Yeah.
I cried too.
Yeah, you
Everybody
did.
else. I lost a lot of pounds in water weight and tears. Really.
Oh, it was so touching though. Your story is just
Oh, thank you.
it's just it's heartbreaking, but it's wonderful too because you were able to reconnect.
Yeah.
And that is so special. And the fact that you did this on television, it just,
if you could see me now, I mean, I talk to my mother twice a day.
Oh,
Good morning, good night.
Yeah.
She is 85 years old, so I'm spending as much time with her as I can.
Of course.
She wasn't on the show. Everybody, saw their parents or whatever, but my mother, she had cancer, so she's very feeble. She is fragile, I guess you would say. So she couldn't be on the show, but I see her all the time. I go down there and visit her and spend as much time as I can with my entire family now.
That's so
There's well over 100 of us.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Have you had any bonfires on the beach?
Oh yeah, the bonfires on the beach, birthdays, everything, graduations.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Anybody else? Go ahead.
What month did the show actually end for you all?
October.
October, yeah.
October. Okay. I was wondering, what was the delay from us seeing it
Yeah.
on
It's usually a
TV.
few months. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
It's got to be so hard. It's got to be so hard because I watch y'all, on
Anxious.
social media, and I know everybody's trying so hard not to spill the beans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has to be so hard.
It's so hard to not share the family members that you meet and you like want to just share, like, because I went back to San Antonio right after the show and I took my kids there and I met with my dad. I've been to Georgia to see my sister. I couldn't share any of those things. So it's just like super hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can
For
imagine.
me, it wasn't as hard with not sharing anything on social media or anything like that. It was just hard because I'm in Utah.
Yeah.
So like a lot of the people that watch the show are from Utah because it's BYU TV,
Yeah, exactly.
And so like my whole church, everybody wanted to know who I met. They all knew we were going on the show and they all wanted to know who we met.
Sure.
And so I had to tell everybody, I'm so sorry, I can't tell you. I'm so sorry, but you'll find out in 6 months.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
My mom and I got really good at being like, sorry, we signed an NDA. You're just going to have to watch it when it comes out.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. I can't even imagine how hard this is because you're so excited.
I think Jen is trying
I
to
got
talk.
it. I saw her. Wait, I'm trying. We had to mute her, people, because she's in the hospital. But everything is okay.
Yeah, sorry.
She's in the hospital. She's just, but everything's okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, we're just getting ready to leave. Yeah, so we had a lot of people, or have, every time we go to Walmart, it seems that we have someone running up to us and they're like, it was so funny because they'd be like, oh my gosh, we love you so much, da, 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 and they'd ask us questions. But the one thing is like, we know you can't tell us, but we really want to know what happened to Gabby. Or we know you can't tell us, but how is David the same as he is on the show? Like, it was so funny. Yeah. So some of the questions we could answer. We did tell them that you were exactly like you are on the show, David. So don't worry. And but yeah, it was super hard not to be able to share with people, because they're so excited.
And it's so life-changing and have to keep that a secret. I mean, it changes lives. Yeah. So I can. So I mean, we are grateful. We are grateful for you for doing this and for sharing these stories. And I mean, it's just you can't say that enough. It's how grateful we are because it helps us all. We all learn from it. And you're helping other people. You're helping other adoptees. You're helping other people to understand that you can't reach out and you can't find your family. Not maybe everybody on a TV show, but you open up a lot of questions for people, and you show people how you can heal, and and to be honest, sometimes it doesn't work out, and that's okay too. But at least you're showing the process and the journey, and you're being very brave about it, and that. Bernice, if you want to ask your question, ask it. Go ahead. No, ask it. Don't stay in the chat, girl. Ask your question.
Hi there. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Hi.
I want to hear from you all. What was your favorite game?
See, and that was one of the questions somebody had asked. So thank you for asking that, Bernice.
For me, it was the tank.
Yeah, the tank. Yeah, the tank.
Of course.
I actually like the challenge right before the tank. I think that one was really like competitive, and we really had to work for it. And so that one was fun.
One was pretty cool too.
But I loved the ball, the Go Gumball one. That one was our favorite. I loved it personally. I know everyone else didn't, but we had fun.
Leland didn't.
I was dying in that stupid ball because it was so hot.
It's hot.
Yeah, they tossed Rosanna around like I did, baby, like a rag doll.
I was like, okay, we're gonna take this nice and slow, not realizing the strength that my mother has. And she was just running and pushing, and I was like, I guess I'll just hang on.
You were bouncing around like crazy in there.
Yeah, you want to know what it's like to be in a washing machine.
And the thing is, those challenges are going to be, they're going to be different. They're going to be different for each of you because you're in different places. And so the weather, the heat's different. Your days.
Yeah, we did it indoors. The gumball one, we did it indoors.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So,
I think my favorite was the pool table. Like
that's what I was
like
going to say too. Yeah.
That was fun.
That was fun.
I think my favorite was the basketball. The mammoth basketball.
That one, I was not very good at that one.
Yeah, no, the stupid but the maze thing
with mice
had me hot. Okay.
We did the maze so quickly and they didn't show it. We were kind of frustrated with it. We were like, that was the one part of the challenge we did right.
We did really well.
Yeah, we did it like 30 seconds. It was like extremely quick.
Yeah, but we did not do the basketball quickly, so it evened out, guys.
The show had a lot of firsts in it. One of those firsts, Kayli and Dan, was that little dust devil. That big dust devil coming completely destroying your challenge.
It destroyed it, It was scary.
It was very scary. I used to live in New Mexico, so I know how those things just appear out of nowhere.
Yeah, there was no wind, no nothing. It came out of the trees, picked everything up, and was gone in like 30 seconds. And
it chased the whole crew down.
It hit every single one of us. It was crazy.
That was absolutely crazy. And of course, you guys didn't know, the rest of the teams didn't know what happened to you until the end, but you still didn't really know probably the severity of it till you watched the show and saw the footage.
I actually saw a video of it on a cell phone, and I was really worried.
Oh, okay.
Another crew member showed us.
All of the producers kind of sent around the video.
Oh, I gotcha. Okay.
Our crew thought it was like the coolest thing that has ever happened to them, and they were taking videos and passing it around. So they took it pretty well.
That's good.
I have a question.
Laura,
so did they tell you all before the whole race started that if some kind of act of God happened and you couldn't finish a challenge, that you would have to time out? Did you know what was going to happen?
I don't think so.
I don't remember.
No.
I've seen other episodes.
I don't know that they ever had anything like that before.
Well, no, and I've seen other seasons where like they've had some sort of weather issue, right? So we just assumed honestly that we were getting the strike that day. Like we had already like, this is what's happening. We're going to get a strike. It is what it is. And so we were kind of like, just take us to our relative. And then, they told us to calm down and take a deep breath. And then we filmed out the rest of the day. But it was just one of those where we just thought already that we were hands down getting the strike for that day.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Mary, you said you have a question?
Yeah, I have a question for Team Blue. Since I know Washington, I know that almost all your relatives were within a couple of hours drive of you, certainly. So your plane ticket, have you taken your trip on the plane ticket, and where did you go?
Actually, we used because most of our relatives are really close. I want to say the farthest one we have, I guess it's technically Florida. One of the cousins we met moved to Florida but grew up in Washington. Other than that, the farthest one we have is in Tri-Cities, and so they're all really close. So we got to use our plane tickets to go meet up with other teams to watch the premiere of Relative Race together.
Oh,
so that's how we used our Relative Race family.
Oh, I love that so much. That's wonderful. And speaking of watching it all together, as you watched it, you lived your part and you talked to each other at the end. As you watched everybody else's days unfold, what was the most surprising thing that you learned that you didn't know? What really did you say, oh my gosh, I didn't even know that happened? What touched you and surprised you?
Wasn't wearing my glasses the day that Jen met her brother with the mustache. So it wasn't until I actually saw the episode and I was wearing my glasses, I was like, oh my God, that's a great mustache, man. I missed that one. I remember missing that one and going like, man, where's my glasses at?
Yeah, that was quite the mustache.
Yes, and he is a firefighter too, so it definitely works.
Yeah. In fact, fact,
I think
everybody
Oh
that
my God.
has asked us about him, he's like, oh yeah, and your brother, what a cool mustache. Oh my gosh, that is the coolest.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's funny.
I think that I fell like more in love with the teams watching their stories and just like seeing each person go through their journey. To see how much it meant to like Joanie, and to see her, like, you know, we talk at the end of the night, but to watch her actually go through the journey was really emotional. And I think for me, it was also when Jen met her mom and she sat out there and she just said, she came.
Yes.
And that emotion that I saw in Jen, it hit me. And then of course, David makes me cry all the time. So it's just like, there's
I know.
every bit of his episodes, but watching, you know, both the moms go through it and how their daughters were supporting them and stuff, it was a really beautiful experience for us on this end.
Yeah.
I can tell you that when
You're not driving today, right?
No.
Go ahead.
Dan and I, a lot of the things that happened during the show, they're parallel. Like we both found out about our deceased brothers at the same time, our fathers, you know, so we kind of male bonded. We're the only males on the show. So even right now, we're the only males. We're surrounded by all this.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all these girls and me and Dan were like, gosh, look at us. We're here among all these girls, but our stories ran parallel to each other, you know, with our brothers, my brother, your brother, our father, we found out around the same time. So we bonded that way, I thought.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I agree.
And you're both great, very good uncles. I mean, so
we're uncles
got
as
that.
well.
Both uncles. There's
Oh.
questions in the chat, Cheri.
Yeah, Jenny said she needed to ask a question or she wanted to ask
Mary.
Jenny?
Yeah, I'm always interested in you know, hearing from you what your days were like. How long were your days? And I mean, you're emotionally going through a lot, but physically, I mean, are you getting enough sleep? I mean, what were your days like?
Not even close to enough sleep.
No, you get up at like 5 in the morning or earlier, depending on it, and then we start filming like by 7, 8 for us.
7, 8, yeah.
Yeah, and we were the farthest out, so we had to wait for everyone to get ready for the Zoom call. So our Zoom calls weren't until like 8:30, 9 o'clock at night. So we're just filming whatever we can film in between that time, and so it's all day.
I had never even thought about that complication about the Zoom calls and what implications that has about what time zone you're in. Hadn't even thought about that before.
Yeah. So it was kind of hard because, you know, you're filming like, well, you're up for about 15, 16 hours that day. And then you're filming for almost the entire time. You know, you don't get done filming until maybe, at least for us, it was like 8:39-ish.
Yeah.
And, you know, then you have that time to be with your relative, but it's like on more than one occasion, it would hit 10 o'clock and we're trying to talk to our relative, but we're both falling asleep at the same time.
Oh, goodness.
I will
Well,
tell
that
you
in
that,
mind, talking about physically, I noticed, and I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I noticed that Kayli and Jen, you both had knee braces on at some point, but I don't remember during any of the episodes you getting hurt or them talking about it. And so can you tell us why you had knee braces on?
Well, I tore my meniscus, so I don't know what happened. I did injure myself at some point in time. I think it was the softball challenge. There was nothing major that happened, but it just got worse and worse over time. So I ended up tearing my meniscus. But I'm not sure with Jen. We both came on the same day with a knee brace.
Yeah.
Yes. So for me, I fell a couple of summers ago. I just tripped over something in my yard and didn't think anything of it. And then later my hip started hurting really bad, like a few months before the show. And so I was like, oh my goodness, what am I going to do? I have to run. I have to get into a car. What am I going to do? And so I just went to my doctor and was like, do whatever you got to do. Give me whatever shots you got to give me. I just need to be ready. And so I went to physical therapy and it was like 2 days before the show, and my hip stopped hurting.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow. It did not hurt the entire time, but my knee started hurting. And so I was like, I can handle my knee, so they bought me a wrap for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it helped a lot. It really did. But I'm still dealing with it. It's just it will not stop swelling up. Yeah. So, but I didn't tear my meniscus, so I'm grateful for that. But
I could barely walk. I'm surprised they didn't show more of that. Like I crutched out of there on the way home. So like it's interesting that they didn't show any of that, but
I saw you had a distinct limp in a couple of scenes.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't show that I fell in the water like Jen too. Like I fell hard in that water.
That hurt. That did hurt. It was
Yeah, there was a big stink hole right there.
It was fine.
Didn't mention that.
and my other knee hit a rock or something, so I was like bleeding on my other knee. I was like, I'm done.
Yep.
We didn't realize that these challenges were so dangerous for you.
Well, they're grueling.
They can be, yeah.
Well, that's when we said with like the dust devil, we're like, we came here to meet family, not die.
Not die.
Yep.
Oh goodness.
I think Mary had a question.
Mary?
I asked
or
it.
somebody.
Oh, she asked. And Shelley, you wanted to ask.
Go ahead, Mary.
No, that was about the plane ticket.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, Shelley.
Shelley?
Oh, you want me to go? All right. I was just going to say, thinking about all of what you've done, but also first, Raelene, God bless you.
Yes, absolutely.
Show done. Was there. Yeah. You got it, girl.
Yes.
Yeah.
So thank
She's
you
my
for
hero.
that, for your part and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
But the question I had, thinking about what you all have went through, the challenges, the meeting, finding new information, getting clarified information on family and things like that. Would you do this all over again?
In a heartbeat.
Yeah.
In a heartbeat.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I'd do it 1,000 times.
Even without the tank, Joanie?
Oh, that's a deal, bro. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, because
as long as we didn't have to eat pickles.
Oh yeah, pickles before the season.
Because as the audience, we're on that emotional ride with you, and especially us that we're all genealogists here. So we're on that emotional ride right with you, the anticipation and things. And again, we are big loyal fans of Relative Race. I'll say that. But like I said, of course, David has us crying every episode and so forth. That's okay, because we also get the chance of hearing the connections, which we can take back to what we're doing. Some of us take clients, some of us don't. So, so appreciate all of it. And Mary's got a question. So thank you for that.
Well, Shelley kind of brought it up. We're all a group of genealogists. Did this experience prompt any of you to do more family history and get involved in researching your own ancestry?
I definitely wanted to go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say, you go first. It's fine.
Yeah, no, I definitely wanted to get my dad's side, because, my grandmother passed and my grandpa's still here and he's from Mexico. So I went to go visit him in January and try to get as much information as I could just to kind of make sure everything was, documented.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, do it now. Think of all those questions that you want to ask now before it's too late. Because once they're gone, you can't ask the questions.
Yeah.
So
record if you can.
Yeah, take all the pictures you can, interview all of them as you can, get their DNA, everything. Make sure you get to those oldest generations and get that done.
Yeah, before the show happened, I actually bought my grandma, David's mom, a book saying, "Grandma, tell me your story." And it's just a question and you write in. I got her that book and everyone helps her fill in everything.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. Bernice, did you have another question?
Well, I want to hear that. I mean, anybody else? Kayli, or sorry, you were going to say something about research.
Well, I thought Bernice had a question, but if not, once
I
everybody's
was gonna
done.
say I started genealogy on my mom's side before the show, like before I met Ashley, is kind of how we kind of got connected. And so this has only made me want to build the tree even more. I have so many questions for my dad that I ask him all the time.
That's
I'm
great.
learning about great grandparents and things like that, that it's healing. It's just, I feel like we're all getting our answers and, you know, our hearts are healing. And so it's been very cool to like build the tree more and see all the different sides.
I definitely agree with that. I'll just jump in quickly before the next one.
No, quick, just talk to us.
My history and my genealogy really is super short for me, right? My mom was adopted and I don't know my biological father or his side of the family. And so it's always been like, you know, I'll go get a new doctor and they say like, okay, fill out your medical history. And it all stops with my mom. And that's where every single time that's where it stopped. Which is fine. I mean, I have such an amazing family, adoptive family who loves me and cares for me and raised me. But in terms of my biology, that's where it ends, right? And so it's just been really interesting. I mean, I knew that I was half Chinese, although I recently discovered I'm only 45% Chinese and I'm 5% Korean.
Oh, okay.
And then anything on my mom's side is just from like the little blurb they gave her when she was adopted. So it's been really fun to kind of like broaden that for me, right? Like now I kind of know more about that we're Finnish, that we're English. I know that I'm 5% Korean. And along with that, I do know a lot of like medical things as well, you know, like this is what I need to be looking out for, or like this is something that I can feel confident I won't have to deal with. So it's been really fun just to kind of like even Ancestry said, like, you know, according to your genetics, you're more likely to be a napper. And I was like, nice. Now I have an excuse.
It's in my DNA.
I love that. I love that. I need to go back and check mine so I can use that as an excuse too.
Lovely.
I love that. And there's a lot to be said for knowing your medical information. So I think that's a really good point to bring out. I mean, it's one thing to understand and know who your biological family are, but that's so important too, because, you know, I've mentioned before in the show, and people know that I've got children that are adopted and they don't know, they came out of foster care and we don't know their medical history. And so that's been kind of tough for a lot of them. So it's very, very important for that kind of information to be shared. So that's great. I'm glad you brought that up. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Was there anybody else that wanted to answer Mary's question about
I have something to add.
Sure, go ahead.
So with these websites 23andMe and Ancestry.com, during the course of the show, I had mentioned to our producer that I had gotten a hold of somebody who had my DNA. Okay. It was a relative of mine, and I came this close from solving everything. And she said to me, maybe you should stay off those websites. I said, okay. I was that close. I said, is Basuto my last name? And she says, oh, you know, Alyssa just said, no, stay off those websites. I said, okay, I promise I won't spoil it for you. But, you know, sometimes I wonder if these websites are going to spoil everything, you know, because you can find out information through them that I guess it's something that we really have to think about, I guess, during the show. I mean, is it going to spoil everything in the future?
It might end up being in contracts. You're not allowed.
Yeah, it might be part of the contract later on.
Exactly. That's a really, really good point. And Kayli, you had found your sister before, right? Before the show.
Yeah.
You found a sister with using DNA.
Well, I had this whole information that my dad was a whole different person. And so when I took DNA originally and I came up with names I didn't see, family I didn't see, heritages, you know, from being from countries that I didn't even know I was, you know, from, it kind of blew my world up. But the one thing that it did show was my sister Destiny, and it said her name. And I tried to find her and I couldn't find her, but you know, it had her name on it, and she was on the same plane as my brother. So my mom's my brother on my maternal side. And so I was like, she has to be my sister. And it's really what was the driving force behind trying to find her and stuff. But to open up your genealogy and find out that you're not who you think you are, is crazy. It's really crazy.
Yeah. And we've got panelists that have had that experience. So it's tough. I know it's tough. So Bernice, did you have a question that you wanted to ask? I didn't want to skip over you.
I want to go back to injuries. And I want to know, is there a medic on the crew that's really talking to you all, or if somebody's going to say, oh, something's going on, let's stop shooting and deal with whatever the problem is?
On day 10, they do have a medic because Dan, the host, he was like, after the second challenge, I kind of limped, and he stopped me and he's like, do you want to see the medic? Like, we can get you to talk to the medic. And I was like, no, I'm fine. I've got one more challenge. I'm fine. Like, leave me alone. And so I refused the medic, but there was one on site.
What about emotional?
But on the other ones, there isn't.
No.
Just like with Gabby becoming ill, they assess that, and then they decide if they are going to take her to an Instacare kind of thing.
Right.
And so, but no, there's not one when we're doing the challenges typically.
Or even meeting family. And I think about when I deal with clients or descendants and whatever, it's an emotional thing, and I always tell them you need to, seek some help, with this new information, especially if it wasn't what they knew. And so, and I'm briefing them on something new and total opposite of what they might have been told. So I just wondered, based not just physically, but also mentally. And because you guys are meeting people. What was that, David?
He said emotionally. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's
I know
hard.
Kayli and I had great producer that was very, very supportive.
Oh, that's great.
She was always very attentive to us. She asked great questions. She always made me cry.
We had a lot of like moments with her that we were able to bounce off like our emotions and our feelings, because I think obviously we went through one on the whole trip. Like every day we were just clearly obviously really emotional, but she was helpful, and I'm really grateful for our team. I'm not sure about the other teams, but I think the producers are pretty well trained in being a support system for us.
Got it.
We had the best team, production team wise. I mean, our producer Corey, we call him Papa Eagle, but I mean, he was the most amazing man you will ever meet. I mean, he was just caring. And even our one of our camera guys, Garrett, I mean, he cried with us, you know what I'm saying? Like genuine tears, I will say though that day 9 was, I didn't know how to handle it. Like I felt emotions that I didn't even know existed. I didn't know what to do. And so I talked to Corey and I said, I actually think I talked to Garrett first time. Anyways, asked Corey, and I said, hey, I need to talk to my sponsor, please. And so he had to call, he had to, make sure it was okay with everybody, and he had to sit next to me, which was totally fine, to make sure I wasn't, like spoiler alerts. But so I had her, and she gave me the simplest, most like common sense advice. She goes, just breathe. And I was like, oh, been holding my breath, right? But so like I'm sure, depending on situation, like if there was a mental health counselor needed or something or something like that, I'm sure they would bring somebody, like on or to that person. But I was allowed to call my sponsor that day because that was a lot for me.
That would be a lot for anybody.
Yeah.
I mean, and we had talked about, have they ever done that before? Will they bring both,
I think that was the first time that they did 2 parents at one time.
I think so too. Yeah.
That was
very. Go ahead. Was that your parents' decision, Joanie, that they wanted to do together, or was it a producer decision?
I don't know. I never asked them. My parents hadn't spoke in 30 years probably.
That was amazing.
Wow.
And this was the first time that they talked or see each other in 30 years. So
that was very brave of them to do that together on television,
I know it's one thing I was told every relative. I said, look, I'm really sorry that this is on TV. I did not plan it like this. Okay. It just happened. And so, hi, here I am. Like, I'm really sorry if this is awkward.
I said that to every relative too. I'm so sorry we did it this way. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't think that, I never thought in a million years that, like, because when I filled out the application, like, I was just kind of doing it for, whatever, you know, no big deal. And then when they called me back, Roseanne goes, Mom, it's a scam. Don't answer it. You know, and then we went through the motions.
I was wrong.
Yeah. It happens occasionally. She's wrong. But once we kept like leveling up, so to speak, and, you know, the next level, the next step, I was like, Rosanna, like, because it, for us anyways, it was so far in between each step. So you do one thing right, a couple months go by, you kind of forget about it, right? They get an email, oh yeah, you know, do something else, a couple months go by. But then when it got down to like crunch time, I was like, oh snap, like this could actually happen, you know? So
right.
That's exactly how we were too.
Yeah.
That realization's surreal, isn't it?
Yeah.
When I was at work, Rosanna was, I think she was at work too. Anyways, it was on a Zoom call and we're talking to our producer and he was like, you know, questions, this, that, and the other, blah, blah. And he's like, well, just want to welcome you guys, your Team Blue, or welcome you to season 15 Team Blue or something like that. And at first, I mean, I was in shock. Right? I was like, wait, what? But I started crying because it hit me. I said, there's somebody out there that wants to meet me.
Yeah. Oh.
And it hit me, you know, I was like, whoa, wait, what? You know, and yeah.
Right.
We had a crazy experience with ours when we were told. So we had a family reunion for Ashley's dad that she met, you know, Dawn on the show.
Yeah.
And it was his birthday and he wanted to be roasted and he wanted a whole family reunion. It's the first time in like 20 years that the entire family has been together.
Wow.
And so the week before, they tell us we're alternates and that we, you know, probably aren't going to make the show, but, you know, that they're going to keep us, you know, in the pocket or whatever and think about it.
Yeah.
And so the entire reunion, we're just kind of sad. We're disappointed. We're like, okay, we shouldn't have got our hopes up, but we did. And so Dawn's flight keeps getting delayed and delayed and delayed, and he's with us and he's hanging out with us. And about 10 minutes before we get our phone call, we send him off to the airport with my husband. And our producer calls us and we get on a Zoom call and she lets us know that we're Team Red. And so we get off the call immediately and call him and he's in the airport just through security. And we're like, we made it. We're on the show. And it just felt like one relative race story ended and then another one began.
Exactly. Exactly. And I love your story about how, you know, you met Ashley, and we love Ashley. She's been on and you know, talked about her season, of course, and come on and talked about this season and told us what she could. So that was really fun. So we know how y'all ended up on the show, but people want to know, for everybody else, did you reach out and apply, or did somehow the show find you? Because I know this has happened on different seasons.
So apparently I applied to the show. I don't remember applying. So it had to have been a long time because, you know, it's not like I would have forgotten it if I had just applied a couple weeks prior. But
didn't you do it for my birthday or something?
I don't remember.
That's what Dad said.
But that's a good story. Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know. I don't remember. Cool. But anyways, so they reached out to me in maybe just before Christmas. And they said, hey, or they texted me and they said, hey, you know, we want to talk to you. Can you send us a video of you talking about your story with, you know, whoever you want to be on the show with you? And so we did. And then it was kind of a while before we heard back. And then there was a phone call, and then there was a bunch of stuff, lots of Zooms. And then they also told us that we were alternates. And so we were like, oh, well.
There's already been someone from Spanish Fork, which is like, one city over from us. And, you know, Ashley, which we had watched, you know, and so we're like, mother-daughter team, there's no way we're going to get on, you know, it's too close. And then Brad called us and he was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, you guys." He's like, we'd really like to have you on the show. So, you're Team Green. We're like, wait, what? For sure. I mean, he built it up like we hadn't gotten on, and so yeah, it's a typical Brad thing.
Yeah.
Right.
And Brad
producer.
is probably the best producer.
The best.
At least
Yeah.
for us.
Yeah,
He was,
I don't know. Kind of beg to differ.
Lauren.
Guys, we can
Alyssa's
fight,
pretty good
but
too,
we had
so.
Corey, so
Actually had Corey
I
on
have
the
to
show.
say
So,
our team was the best, but
I
Alyssa's
truly
pretty
think
good
our
too.
team was
We
the
were
best.
actually mad that we didn't have Team Black's producer. So we were like,
Alyssa's
we
the
got
best.
told, yeah, we were like, we don't have Alyssa? What?
I'll tell you something about
amazing.
Alyssa. She salvaged our team because
Yeah.
the whole concept of bringing Raelene in to replace Gabby after Gabby got sick,
yeah,
that came out of her head. It was just she had to readjust because I thought the race was over for me at that point.
Right. So did we. We all did.
So did we.
Yeah.
We all thought it was, and we were all so sad. We're like,
We
this
did
can't be
too. We were
happening.
crying for him. We were just.
And, to be
So who
honest, I
came up
will
with
tell
the
you something
idea,
happened
David?
on the second day. Day 2, I was told that my mother was alive.
Mhm.
From then on, time just was in suspended animation.
Right.
You talk about the longest days because they took my phone and I thought the race was over. I was okay with that because I could go see my mother.
Right.
And that's all I could think about because obviously they took our phones.
Yeah.
And she's old and she's had cancer.
Mhm.
So I was just in my mind, I was just hold on, Mama, I'm gonna be there soon.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
but it was really hard.
Ugh.
Because I love her so much. It was hard to wait to see her. Yeah.
Oh,
really hard.
That's
Who
another
came up with
thing.
the idea for you to have Raelene come on?
What was the question?
Who was it that came up with the idea to have Raelene
That's
come on?
all Alyssa. And they surprised me. I mean, I knew nothing about that. I thought she was a saleswoman at the door interrupting the interview.
That's so cool.
Alyssa was trying to get some.
She was going to be like my new partner.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow. But I was happy.
was trying to get someone from the family to replace Gabby, and I got a phone call from my mom saying we need someone to replace, his partner. And they wanted my mom to do it, and my mom's like, I can't do those challenges. And I was like, well, I'll do it. And she's just like, you would? And she's like, yeah. So we called Alyssa right away, and then just the rest is history.
And then you became my hero.
Yeah. All of our heroes, because
that
would have just to not.
We just didn't know what way it was going to go.
And to have not been able to experience.
Yeah.
The story.
And watching them together in the car and like building their relationship and like it felt like the light came back in David. Like he was just so happy again, and it was beautiful.
It was
to watch.
It was beautiful.
When we
was really
sure
weird
what was gonna happen, my fiance was like, he was bent out of shape. He was like, okay, did David go home? Better not have. I love David. He's my favorite. I'm like, aren't I supposed to be your favorite?
Well, my husband said the same thing. He's like, Raelene is just making David so like giddy again, and he's like having fun, and he's like, I love Raelene.
Yeah. Well, you got to realize that Raelene filled me in on a lot about our family, off camera.
Yeah, sure.
So there was that connection we had. It just built and built and built.
Yeah.
So she's special to me.
Yeah.
Oh, it's also beautiful to watch her stand back though and let you have your moments.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I was going to comment. Yeah. That was what was really priceless, because I thought she knows these people.
Yeah.
And here he doesn't. And for her to step back, it was beautiful though. Another emotional piece of it.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, me and all my cousins are really excited to finally meet Uncle David, because we've heard about him our whole lives.
Yeah.
And everyone was just talking about like gosh, what does he look like? You know, how is he gonna be? Like, so I wanted everyone to have their moment. Like, just, you know.
It's so good. So
you did a beautiful job of it. You really, I don't know how you weren't tempted to say, I know where we're going, and it's gonna be, this is who you're gonna meet.
He tried. He definitely tried, and I was like, I don't know. I think we went to go meet one of Gabby's relatives, Sandra, and he's like, you know where we're going. Don't lie to me. I said, I really don't know where we're going.
I don't know. The window washer, though, is probably my favorite scene
God,
out of the whole entire series.
I think, absolutely, the window washer. Oh my gosh, that's another hilarious that's ever happened to anybody. You guys handle it so well because you didn't get out and yell at them. We're timed.
Yeah. Well, being from LA, it happens all the time, so it's just like that's why I was like, oh no, like it's happening.
Funny.
So, is Mary have a question, or did you already ask that, Mary? I see you in the chat.
I already asked it.
Okay, sorry. And I have a question there, Cheri, if that's okay.
Of course.
This is for all of you. So people that will watch this might think about applying. Is there anything that you would recommend or suggest to people or prep that they would need to know if they got on the show that you would advise them with?
How to
learn to read a map.
Yeah.
We didn't know how to read a map on the show, but we did. We actually practiced before we went to Colorado because Utah is on the grid system, so it's really easy to find things here.
Right.
So we went to Colorado on like a little mini vacation and took my other daughter and we practiced. But the thing we didn't realize was that they don't give you city maps. They only give you interstates and freeway. And so that one was hard.
Were you able to buy a city map?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you could find one.
If you find one.
Yeah.
We bought
hardest
like
part,
3 or
is
4
that-
different maps.
Yeah, there's no one that sells them anymore.
Well, I ask this question.
Use your phone.
I ask this
Yeah.
question every time we have the
Yeah, we found one at the Chamber of Commerce.
Yeah. Go ahead, Melissa. What'd you say?
I said, I ask this question every time we have these reunions every year. Were you all surprised by the fact that the people that live locally have no idea where anything is?
Yes. Oh my
Yeah,
God, yes.
that's true.
A couple of our addresses were beyond hard to find. Like there was it was not Little Rock, but it was like Little Rock Avenue on Little Rock Lane and Little Rock Street and Little Rock Court.
That's supposed to have changed
within each other.
Awful.
Joanie and Rosanna and New Development.
Listen, okay. When I saw the street was a name, I'm like, I'm done, dude. I ain't doing it. I'm done. Literally, there was this street. It was called Lavender Avenue or something like that. New development, okay? Nobody,
New development, guys.
including my cousin who lives there, knew about it.
Yeah.
By the time we were done with that, I said, I'm done. I ain't doing this no more. I'm out. Like, it was so frustrating. And then when I see like a street with a number, I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
And we would do great then. We would do amazing then. But the name streets, no. I'm not a big fan.
Some of the towns we were in were so small. We ran into a gas station and we asked and said, do you know where this address is? And she goes, well, if you tell us a name, I can tell you where they live. But I don't know anybody's addresses. And we were like, we don't know.
Yeah. We got that too.
Yeah. Did you guys get any like people that just didn't want to talk to you? Like, no, I don't want to.
When we were trying to find the new development, we walked into a was it driving school, Rosanna?
Yeah, and we figured, a driving school.
No,
they
right?
drive on
the road. No, they were so, because you have somebody falling behind you with a camera, right?
Yeah.
And I get it. It's very like, oh my gosh, intimidating. 100% understand it, right? By this time we're used to it, so it doesn't really even faze us. But I get it, right? And here I am, big red hair, just charging, like, hey, the camera guy, and here's Rosanna, and I'm already loud anyways, right? And she looks at me, she goes, shh. And I'm like, the heck, dude? Well, they were testing at the time, right? That wasn't my best day, okay? Those are some outtakes they should have put actually in. Yeah, then you would have really known me. But anyways,
there was a time that Gabby asked some lady, and she just stared at Gabby, and we're both like, "Why is she looking at us?" And her friend says, "Oh, she's deaf," and we didn't know that.
So
oops.
Yeah, that was an outtake for sure.
I'll bet. Oh, speaking of,
I like ran into a Walgreens and yelled,
Yeah.
"Hey, does anybody know this address?" And they all like looked at me. There was like 50 people that were like,
We had one girl that we said, "Hey, do you know where this road is?" And she goes, "Oh my gosh, that's where I live." And we're like, "Great. Where is it?" She's like, "Oh, I don't know." And we're like, "Don't you
like,
you live there though?"
Oh, okay, never mind.
Wow.
That is too funny. That is so funny. And everybody, I'm sure they're just so shocked. Because why aren't you using your phone? Why aren't you using your GPS?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
They just don't
We
get
had
it.
one lady, and she was so sweet, and she just wanted to help us, but she was just like, we were like, "Hi, we're on a TV show. I'm trying to find my grandma. Can you?" We're going, "We can't use technology." And she was like, "That's so exciting. Like, what's the address? Let me look it up for you." And I was like, "You can't."
Yeah.
We asked, I think, what, 3 mailmen before we finally found one that could help us. I mean, different cities though, but I'm thinking, are you serious?
We had 2 mailmen in the
Dude.
same neighborhood for the house we were trying to find, and both of them were like, "It's not on our route." And we were like,
Oh my
You know,
God.
that's so true. They're like that. They are. If it's not their route, they don't know.
Don't know.
well, the day that we asked like 10, 15 people, we were
'cause
in
I
a
can't say
completely
1,
like
2, 3, 4. It was so
yeah,
funny. Well,
but
it was funny for
nobody
us.
spoke
It wasn't funny for
English
you.
in the neighborhood. Like it was just like a very
Oh.
ethnic neighborhood. So it was just us running and like no one understood what we were saying. It was funny to us. We were like, "Well, that was great."
Was that when it was in a strip mall?
Yep.
Yeah.
That
the
was
one
funny.
that they did the count on. Yeah.
That was funny.
Yeah. It took us until day 9. Day 9 is the only day we found one person who knew our address.
Yeah, we just laugh at that every year that nobody knows. But I'm thinking if somebody ran up to me and said, "Do you know where this is?" I might be able to give them a general area. But if it's a small street name because they're looking for a house, I wouldn't know either.
Yeah, same.
When I got back, I drove around our neighborhood so I could learn the street names because I don't even know my own neighborhood.
That's hysterical. That's hysterical. That is really too funny.
Oh, yay! Looks like we're together.
Made a home.
Then mute you on. Yeah, we'll turn you off on that one, and then we'll have you, or you can keep both cameras on. That's fine.
Turn off on Jen's.
That's cute that you're both there. Yeah.
Where are you, Rosanna? Just saying.
Sorry.
Whatever.
I'll be there in about an hour.
Okay. No, she's not coming.
Oh, sorry.
Is there a way for you to kick Jen out?
I can at least mute. There we go.
I gotta grab my dinner out the oven. Sorry, I'll bring you with me though. But
Yeah, sure. Feel free.
Sorry.
No, we don't care.
It's 6 o'clock here, so I still gotta get dinner out.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's 9 o'clock here and I haven't eaten yet.
Oh no, sorry.
I'm sipping on coffee.
Well, how about everybody else? How did you David, how did you end up on the show? Did somebody reach out to you or did you apply?
Actually, it was Gabby's idea.
Okay.
She had found out about it, and that's what kind of broke my heart was that she couldn't complete the race with me when it was her idea.
Yeah.
And the process happened really fast. I found out within 10 days or so.
Wow.
That I was on the show. And I didn't believe it. I was like, well, that happened really fast. I don't know if somebody was originally cast that bowed out or something, and I had to replace them. I'm not sure how that went, but it happened pretty fast. But it was Gabby's idea. I originally was kind of hesitant because I didn't know what the whole concept was. I had to watch the show and figure it all out because I'm typically camera shy. I'm not that personality that does well on camera.
Oh, you
But
did.
they liked our audition tape. You know, we did audition tape, and they got back to us fairly fast.
Yeah. Oh, and we're grateful. We're grateful that they did.
Absolutely.
What a season. It just, it blows me away that, we fall in love. We don't know who you guys are. And then we watch you and we fall in love with you on, as the season progresses. And every season you think, how could this get any better? And it's like, it's because they're true and they're real and it's not scripted to where, it's not Jerry Springer. It's real.
Right.
That's my first thought when I heard about the show was it was Jerry Springer.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Yeah. And so because it's real, it touches people in a way that that other shows don't, that other people who try to do this kind of thing, it doesn't work as well. And so that's why, we got more seasons coming, and we're going to fall in love with those teams, and we're going to have you guys come back and talk to us about the new seasons, because you all become part of a relative race family, and we just
and we miss you when it's over.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. And we want to know, how are you doing? And keep in touch and let us know. Are you meeting? And that's another question I want to ask before we get finished, is that how is it going? Are you meeting? I know David, was able to meet his mom. I'm sure he's met other people, other siblings. Have you met other people that you would like to tell us about? If not, that's fine.
I'm still meeting people.
I can imagine.
There's 100 of them, you said.
Yeah.
That's
I
crazy.
think I've gone through my mother's side of the family, and then my brother, my father has 13 siblings.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Yes, I remember them saying that.
When it's all said and done, there'll be about 250 people in my family.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
And prior to this, it was just my adoptive mother and myself, and my brother just passed away.
Yeah.
So you can imagine the shock that what I'm doing, like going through right now. It's amazing. It's like being reborn. I feel like a child again. I've reverted back to being a child. I tell everybody I feel like that I'm reborn. Just I have different outlook on life. I'm no longer alone.
Yeah. Exactly. There's, I can't even imagine,
it's incredible. It's been an incredible experience.
Yeah. And the fact, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, for us and for me, like even today, my husband went in for surgery, and I'm neglecting him a little bit right now, but he's okay. He said he's a big boy, so
we appreciate
it. But he but my dad sent me a little message and texted me that he and Linda were praying for him today. And then my sister called to see how he was doing, Shauna. And just the other day, Aunt Mary, one of the awesome aunts, she ended up having a brain bleed, and so they had to rush her to the hospital. And so it just was cool to be able to call her and wish her to get well. And I don't know, I just feel like I found all these people. My birth mother, Diane, we talk a couple times a day through texting, but also we'll call each other a lot. My sister and I talk to each other weekly. One of us, we take turns calling each other, and I just feel like I have all this family that I never imagined that I would have, and we're staying in touch. And my brothers, they'll send me memes. I send them memes.
Yeah, that's what brothers do.
Wish each other happy Mother's Day. They all wish me happy Mother's Day, and
that's awesome.
So cool. So cool.
He's right here. And we've been pretty blessed. I talk to my sister every day. I talk to my dad every week. We just had a day 10 party where my dad and my aunt came, and his aunt Lori came, So it was pretty cool to have,
That
the
would
whole
look
family here
so
together.
fun.
It looked like so fun.
I wanted to be there.
Wasn't she? Wasn't Ashley there too?
Oh yeah, Ashley. Yeah,
was
Ashley
there
came.
too? Yeah.
So it was pretty cool to have both for the first time in my life, both sides of my family together. I've never had that, and so it was pretty special. Yeah,
awesome, wonderful.
I talk to my dad quite often. My uncle Les, which you guys all met. The most amazing. I mean, that man is the best. Okay,
he's got some stories. If you want to see him just laugh,
yeah,
Les.
no filter. Doesn't give two flying.
I wonder where you get it from.
Yeah, it's genetic.
It runs in the
blood.
Yeah, that's my excuse, right?
Love
No,
it.
that's he lives farther away, but like my cousin Nathan, we hang out all the time. Brandon has come down and we've hung out, but he lives, not very close to me.
Alethea sends us all birthday cards.
Oh my God, the sweetest woman ever. Okay, like she is just I'm going to her son's graduation is next weekend.
Oh, nice.
So I'm gonna try and drive over. Yeah. Hold on. And then my Aunt Mel, who wasn't on my dad's sister, she was on the show. She lives in the same building where my dad lives, so I see both of them.
Great.
So it's and they're just my dad's just the coolest guy ever, dude. I just
So
when he says if you could see my heart, you'd see it smiling. I was like,
I know.
I'm done. I'm
I
done.
know. We were all done.
I was like, oh, yeah.
We needed coin T-shirts for that.
Exactly.
Yeah, in fact, no, yeah, but I mean, it's the perfect description. I mean, how else, but yeah, so my dad's side, we're in contact quite a lot, actually. My mom's side, not as much, but that's okay. Like, they're not, I mean, my brother is in Florida, I have a cousin in Florida, so I mean, we're not really that close, geographically wise, but yeah, talk to my dad quite often.
Yeah, oh, that's wonderful. I just had a thought. We need Relative Race shirts, and underneath it should say, "My heart is smiling."
Yep.
Yes.
Talk to them and tell them that's the new shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who do we talk to over there? Who's in merchandising?
Yeah, merchandising, which they do a terrible job of. And we keep telling them, you guys, people want the shirts. They all want
I know. I don't get that.
all this stuff, and they
I
just
don't understand.
I don't know. I mean,
yeah, I had family members like, please get us shirts, and I'm like, okay, but yeah.
Remember when we were all sad we didn't get any merch, and then we get there into Philadelphia and we're like finally got our backpacks with merch.
Yeah, all those things they gave us.
Yeah. And then
Swag
oh
bag,
my gosh,
David.
they gave
Swag
us
bag.
so much
Swag
merch.
bag.
Swag bag. We saw these backpacks. I walk in, I was like, oh my gosh, it's the swag bag. Me and David cracked up about that.
I'm glad that they
All
give
the
them
swag.
all. They used to be able to order them and stuff like that, but you can't now. And we've
I don't get it.
we have
Weird. Wonder why.
complained. We have
And they
complained.
had like the keychains with the cars.
All
Like
the
our producer had some at his house because he lives not too far from us. And
What are you
so
doing
we
with
were
them?
like, wait, where'd you get those? They were so cool. They lit up. And
Oh, wow.
don't have them anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, we need a write-in campaign.
Yeah, we
Yes.
do. We've had
We need to
the
share-
t-shirts and the bracelets
You
is what
share
I'm
Lynn's
thinking.
I still have mine on.
email and
Yes, if
everybody get to
bracelets,
Dan.
still wearing them.
No.
Yeah.
I gave away
Maybe
so many
maybe I'll-
bracelets.
Maybe I'll pitch a Nordstrom relative race collab. How do
Heck
I?
yeah.
How do I go about
Yeah.
this, guys? Who do I talk to?
There you go. There you
Yeah,
go.
sure.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Can't
There's
touch
people
anything
out
I
there
had
that
left.
really,
Sorry, can I have some?
really want them. So that would be great.
She's on the
Well,
other side.
Is there anybody else that has a question? Any of the panel? Or is there anything that you as a team member that just lived this this season, lived this race, lived this experience? Is there anything that we didn't talk about that you would like to share, that you would like to bring up?
I will say one thing. We talked about how we've been in contact, the new family members we met, the family members we met, how long we've been in contact with them, all that kind of stuff. But I also just want to say how incredibly blessed we were to be on the same season with the teams that we're on the same season with.
That's
That's
true.
exactly what I was going to
We
say
are-
too.
Yeah.
We are,
I don't think
we
you
are family.
understand we were so stoked to meet the family member, of course, right? This is my cousin. This is amazing. This is my grandpa. This is phenomenal. This is my grandma. This is life-changing. But truly, at the end of the day, I was more excited to introduce the family member to the other teams. I just wanted to be like, Mama Jen, look, this is my grandma.
Yeah,
And,
she was Mama
this
Jen.
is my cousin. He's tall like you.
Right? We were so excited to see who you met, and it was like, I'm gonna start crying because it was like you were our siblings, and we were so excited for you guys. And we wanted to you know, we were just so anxious to see who you met and the joy that you were feeling that day. And because we were feeling it too, and we were excited for you to see who we met, you know. Totally.
Yeah,
I will say something.
I think
that as our cast members, we were all so close to each other that there's a camaraderie with us. We were like a family. I mean, I can show you this bracelet that Leland made. I still wear it. From you guys got your bracelets?
I've got mine on.
And then when Gabby fell sick, Jen led us in prayer, and I'll never forget that. That meant so much to me because you're just so much like a mother that only you could have led that prayer, and for it to meant that so much to me that when Gabby got sick, we all prayed for her. But there was a real camaraderie, and I feel like you guys are my family.
Yeah, for sure.
I will say this though, when we were at the airport, when we first all arrived there, and I looked over, right, I think it was Team Red and Team Green. The first thing I said to Rosanna was, look at Team Red, that's the team we got to beat.
Oh, wow.
The first thing I said to her, that first we already met, I was like, that's our competition right there.
And look,
and
you
look,
beat us,
see,
guys.
you were.
Good job. Good job.
Well, I can tell you that those meetings at the end of the day, you could see that. We could see the bonding that was happening. We could see that it was real. We could see his reaction.
Oh, yeah.
We could see that. So it came through, and we were blessed to see that as well and it's wonderful to watch you bond, and I hope that you can stay as close and encourage
Well,
each other.
I just had to tell you that, like, Kayli, she's amazing. She's coming to help us decorate for Leland's wedding.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Oh, are you, Kayli? I know that's right. Look at her.
Yeah.
That's what's up. Oh, yeah.
I'm still waiting for my invitation. I'll send you my address.
We are sending.
Oh,
you're on the list, girl.
Ava would
Don't worry.
Ava would like to fit her flower girl dress. Maybe sometimes let us know what we're thinking.
I hope that y'all post a big family photo, you know, of your wedding day and you know.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Have everybody in that photo. You know,
I think that this is also one of the first times they had all this teams because you know you have to do some types of back shooting and stuff like that. So for day 10 we had to do some, you know, reshoots. It's the first time that I think that they've rented a house where we all were together.
That house was epic.
Yeah,
oh
so we all got to come together and
It was
spend the
fun.
weekend. It was pretty awesome.
It was so fast. I felt bad because
it was too fast.
And we got the opportunity to go see my mom because it was in the same city that she lives. And so that was really cool. But also I was like, it was hard because we were torn, you know, we were excited to see her, but then, you know, to be away from our other family too was hard. It was a fast weekend. Too fast.
It was.
Yeah, it was too fast. It was like a whirlwind. And Kayli once again came through because I left my iPad at the Airbnb and she went back and got it for me. She did.
Well, what another wonderful season of Relative Race. We congratulate all of you. We congratulate Team Red for being the season winners. That was wonderful. We're so just so happy for you, for the connections and the answers and the healing and all the emotions and you know everything that you went through. And thank you for being willing, like I said, to share that experience. Can't be easy. I can't even imagine.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, thank you for having us.
We
You
appreciate
ladies are wonderful. Thank you for doing what you do.
Well, thank you. We enjoy it. We love you guys. We sure appreciate everything that you've done, and we appreciate you taking the time to be with us tonight. I know the fans of the show will love seeing you all together and hearing how you're doing. They will appreciate that, and thank you for answering the questions that we've asked. And don't be strangers, and we will invite you to come back to help walk through the next coming seasons, and at any time.
Yeah, that'd be great.
If you want to come on, just say, hey, I need to come talk about that episode. Don't be afraid to reach out, because that's half the time how people get on with us is they'll just go, I got to talk to you about what just happened. And that's
I don't think any of us are shy. So
right. That's a direct quote from Eric. I need to be on because I need to talk to you about what happened on this season. So, so you're welcome to come on at any time. We appreciate you so much. And with that, we will say goodnight to you and tell you thank you again for being on. Thanks to all the panel members for hopping on. And with that, we will see you next time on GenFriends.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Love you.